Hello, everyone. Mike Arnold here, co-founder, Pat Trading Partners, along with Bob Iacchino. By the way, if you're new here, please do consider subscribing, ring that bell, and hitting the like button. Longer-term viewers, please do hit that like button and leave some comments so we can keep promoting the channel. Let's see, we still have to do with everything going on in the world, the stock sector overview. Now, things could change. I'm recording this Sunday afternoon before the markets are reopened again, and things can change. Basically, it's a mess in Ukraine and Russia. Russia's been more sanctions. SWIFT is getting eliminated, so their banking is going to be shut down a lot more, or their options for banking. Ruble is going to be a mess. So we shall see. Probably a lot of commodities are going to open higher. Energy is probably going to open higher again. The energy sector, I still have in here the long-term systematic view still in strong buy mode. Nothing changes. Only updated the levels. So on the XLE, 71.83 minor, 72 about 72.86 to 73.16, so roughly $73 is the next cluster, and 75.21 on a strong move up. So that's what we're looking in XLE. Now, some plays like British Petroleum, because they're going to have to write off part of their Russian investment in a Russian oil company, they will probably take a hit. So be picky with the companies you are trading in the energy sector. And just because energy is bullish, other things that can fall in that sector, like solar power and other things, might not necessarily be bullish. So just keep that in mind. But real estate still no sell signal, was on the verge of a sell signal, but bouncing up and still holding this 44.60 area. So that's going to be a key level we're watching, and is very close to a sell signal, but not yet. You can see that was just a short-term buy signal, a nice bounce into the daily rotation zone. Even if it rallies more, 46.70 area to 46.75 is major overhead resistance. Again, that 44.60 is key support, and if it starts breaking down again, it will get into even more bearish mode, but we don't have the official long-term sell signal just yet. XLF, again, coming back, was not looking so good, but nowhere near a sell signal yet, but rebounding really nicely. Let me switch this watch list here. Rebounding really nicely back into this major consolidation channel. Again, we had this key trend line here that was broken before, could not get a close. We got one daily close below it, then moving above it. At this point, I'm taking that off, and we are going to just be watching more of another horizontal significant level coming in right around 37.54. So that is key. We start getting a weekly close below that, even without a sell signal, we get into very picky with the financial sector, and I'm getting less and less bullish, although we have had a nice bounce up back into this big consolidation range. XLK Technology, let's take a look at the shorter term first. We had this little double top. You can see completed all the targets on that. The big gap down, then a strong reversal into it. Technology, though, is still in bearish mode. Technology is still in bearish mode, so it's still looking to sell the rallies overall in technology. And if you're bullish on a technology company, it has to be a strong outperformance or have a very strong pattern, a very strong bullish pattern. Let's just put it that way. Nowhere near yet signaling a long-term re-entry. Short-term, keep an eye on 156.30 area. That would just be a return to the weekly rotation zone and a potential rotation back down. We also have this longer term trend line, which I have to update right there. So if it does get through the rotation zone, that is my next target. And then my target above that is 160, but that probably wouldn't take it back from a sector mode into full bullish mode yet. XLI, the industrial sector, coming down, you can see here we had 94.21 harmonic gap down there on the daily basis. Here's that weekly basis you see here. Just watching, again, key resistance coming in at about $100.50. Very close to a sell signal, but with this end of the week rally, no sell signal yet. So we are in cautious mode there, but still it's slightly bullish. So keep in mind, if we do break below 93.40, again, 91.59, then we have a cluster right at 89.60 area. Short term, you can see here running back into the daily rotation zone 99.80. So we will start watching for another potential rotation back down. If it does get through there, our next target is 101.50. XLY, consumer discretionary. Remember, we had the double top pattern completed, the big pattern this week. You can see here on the daily, you finally gap below it, but moving back up. So that pattern is completed. Remember, consumer discretionary is in sell mode. So we are in sell mode for consumer discretionary. Resistance 184 based off the weekly. And on the daily, if it does rally up a bit higher, 180, 129, but expecting another rollover in that sector. The next targets that we are watching, the next major targets, I should say, we're just going to use our harmonic targets. So it would be 154.79, then 148.10, something in that area. We get back to that weekly, and that would take us all the way down, again, just below this strong reversal bar there, and then down into this prior area of consolidation. So we will keep an eye out for that. XLV, healthcare, still in bullish mode longer term. Let's see if this qualifies as a potential double bottom. We have to test that out. It does not on the weekly, but let's see how, but the daily, I'll be using these targets. That is just right there. So if we get above 133.46, 139.23, 141.62, but that does not mean it's in bullish mode just yet, nor strong bullish mode. It's in long-term bullish mode, but short-term bullish mode would be on a move above 143.46. So there are some plays in healthcare that can still outperform, so we will be looking for some of those. XLB, your materials, still in long-term bullish mode. Even though we had this double top, it came down not quite to the next major key target yet, but reversing back up. We will be watching that for another potential breakdown. So that's really what we are looking for longer term. Again, let me just go back to that. This was that double. The reason we're using it is because the first two targets come in within the candles that started it. But that's just going against the trend. So these were really targets for initiating more potential buys. Overhead resistance on this. Overhead resistance, I am watching this declining trend line and the 200 and the 50. So overhead resistance about 85 to about 85.35. If we did get above there, I'd be targeting 86.51. And then above there, you're actually into a very sloppy, super advanced clear path move. But the next major target up here would be right around at 88.40. XLP, consumer staples, which we are very bullish on. Long-term system, very bullish on it. Nowhere near anything being a sell signal. Coming back down to our key weekly moving average. Have to update these harmonics now. Still watching for another strong push higher over time in this. But right now you see this little reversal also off the 200-day back above the key support levels. So again, another run. I'm watching 77.03, then a retest of the highs if we can get above 77.03 of 78 area. I will keep looking for strong plays in the consumer staples area. XLC, which was really oversold, finally, but this is still in sell mode. It's still sell the rallies. It's come back to the daily rotation zone, so watching for another strong rotation back down here. But we did have this divergence down here. We finally got the rally that wiped out that divergence. Again, you see long-term sell mode up there. And even if on a continued rally, 71 is the major resistance. Although I am looking for it to roll over before then. Retest at 64.03, then go down to 62.10 and 60.16. If you want the longer-term levels, I'd be watching 61.24 and 58.46. Let's see what else we have. XLU, the utilities, Utilities still no sell signal in that. Strong rotation back up, holding above that key long-term moving average. Actually, through the daily rotation zone. Key resistance, though, is about 67.75 to 68. If we do get through 68, then I will watch for a return to about 69 right up here. Now, key supports coming in back right around 66.46. So there are still some plays in utilities, but you have to be very picky with them. It's not just a broad buy across all utilities. IYT, this is the Ishares Transportation ETF. We had that double top coming back down through all those targets and reversing really nicely back into this major consolidation range. You can see longer term, still no sell signal on that. Your key major supports, let me wipe some of this out now. Your key major support, first level is about 245, 246 and 241.50 area. On a rally up, 272 is major resistance. Looking at the daily, everything's flat and choppy in here, so really on a continued move back up, your minor level will be about 266.40 that we'd be watching. Then if it does get above that, I just target that 272. Let's see where we are. DBC, commodity, which we're super bullish on. I actually think based off what's going on with Russia and Ukraine, this could rotate back up quickly. You see we had the cluster up there that we reacted to and pulled back on the long-term basis. This is nowhere near a sell signal. So any pullbacks are to be aggressively bought in the commodity sector. I'm just going to update the longer-term levels and the shorter-term levels at this point with this really nice pausing bar. Let's see where we're looking at right now. We are going to be watching for continued move up. We are watching for 25.42, then 26.11. Your major support, we're back in the daily rotation zone. See, these were some shorter-term buy signals. No other buy. Well, if you do get above Friday's high on a closing basis, it's another rotation zone buy, which was different from these other two, which were percent B buys. But we will be watching for a strong move. Longer term, if it does pull back beyond that, the next major area is about 22.50. Let me show you where that is on the daily. 22.50 is right around here. Let me mark that off. Sorry, went to the wrong area. Right in here, 22, close enough, 22.50. So the rising 50 on the daily with that 22.50 area would be my next support on a pullback. But again, this is very strong sector and all pullbacks are to be bought. Dba Agriculture Fund, which is a subset sort of this, did not quite get to the next cluster. I'm going to reset these for the longer term moves. You know, nowhere near a sell signal in that. Again, pullbacks are to be bought in this for the time being. So let's take a look at that little shorter term price action on here to determine where we're sitting. Oops, wrong one. Sorry about that. Just below the daily rotation zone. If we do get the pullback, I'm watching for another move up, but my next level would be about this 2041. You can see here we had resistance and the 50. You could actually go about 2030 to about 2041. If we do get a close above Friday's high, it is another buy signal though. So keep that in mind too. So pullback 2040 to 2030. Close above Friday's high on Monday would be another buy signal. That's where we stand with everything. Let me just go back to that longer term. Yeah, nowhere near a sell signal on that. So that gives you a really good idea of the sectors that you should focus your investments on now. Some really did bounce back this week, but this coming week is going to be very telling, especially for the ones teetering near sell signals. We could get some more sectors that do go into long-term sell signals, which means we generally avoid them at all costs. So like communications, even with its bounce back, long-term sell signals, so we watch for things. Just an example, we watch for these rotation back downs once we hit the rotation zone. Consumer discretionary, that is another one. Where was that? Well, here, XLY right here, that will watch for another rotation back down because we are in now long-term sell mode. With that, I will talk to everyone later. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. And again, by the way, if you're new here, please do consider subscribing, ringing that bell, and hitting that like button. Especially ringing that bell so you can go join us on some live streams, ask some questions, and really learn what we do here with Path Trading Partners. I will talk to everyone later. Bye for now.